All right, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we got a good one. We are reviewing the brand new RYOBI electric 3000 PSI, 1.1 GPM pressure washer. Again, this just came out. I haven't seen it in store yet. I actually had to order it online, but I got it, so I'm here to review this thing. Now, if it is in store and you're at the store and you're just wondering, hey, should I buy this thing? Well, here are the numbers really quickly from what it gets straight out of the box without any manipulation. If you like those numbers and you pick it up, come back, check out this video to see all the breakdown of what this thing can do. Okay, so we all know the benefits of an electric pressure washer. Easy to use, don't have to worry about gas, oil, all that kind of stuff. Much quieter than running an actual gas pressure washer that's got the motor making a bunch of noise. However, with electric pressure washers, we typically have to compromise on performance a little bit, right? For car detailing, it's totally fine. We can get enough PSI and enough GPM out of it and it's perfect. If you're wanting to work around the house, the higher PSI is always better. And this thing is rated at 3000 PSI, which should get 90% of the jobs done. So obviously I already opened this thing up, but we're gonna rewind a second and I'm gonna unbox it, pull it out and assemble it for you guys, and then we can talk about it a little bit more. All right, so here it is, guys, the 3000 PSI electric pressure washer from RYOBI. I know a lot of people have been waiting for something like this to get over that 3000 PSI mark. They have a 2700, that was their latest iteration, that was the most powerful version they had on the electric side. But now we've got the 3000. So let's go ahead and jump into some of the features of this thing. Right off the bat, guys, brushless motor, brushless induction motor. And that just basically means longer life. It should last longer than a typical universal type motor. So brushless induction motor. Now it's got a nice long power cord with a ground fault interrupt circuit plug on it. So you don't have to worry about getting shocked. If it gets into water, it'll just that'll get reset. Has a nice storage on the back of it here that has storage for your two nozzles. It just gives you two nozzles in this. With this pressure washer, you get the turbo nozzle, which has the little loose thing inside. It kind of creates a cone pattern, delivers, even though it's not necessarily more pressure, it has a better cleaning ability, especially when you're working on driveways and all that kind of stuff. And then on top of that, they also give you this 5-in-1 nozzle that switches between a soap dispensing jet stream, soap dispensing fan stream, 15 degree, 25 degree, and 40 degree. Now we'll test out some of these and see what the orifice size is, if there's any change between, because that's what's gonna change the PSI as we're using the unit. The larger the orifice, the more flow you get, but it drops the PSI. Now again, guys, this thing is rated at 3000 PSI, 1.1 GPM or gallons per minute of water flow. Not super high. For car detailing, that's not super high, so we're gonna see if we can manipulate those numbers by switching out some different nozzles. But for around the house, 3000 PSI, if you just want the pressure to be able to knock off some mildew and some mold growth on your driveway, on your patio, on the sides of your house, this may be an absolute perfect solution for you. So moving on, it does come with an onboard soap dispensing tank. You can add a fluid in there and use it that way. I personally don't like those, and let me explain why. Whatever's in the soap dispenser is gonna go through your entire pressure washer hose. And then when you wanna just use regular clean water again, there's still residue in the hose, so it's not ideal. I highly recommend using a foam cannon, something that you can attach to the front end of your pressure washer wand. And then that way you can have it all there. It keeps the whole line and everything nice and clean, and it just has a solution on the outside. I've got tons of videos on different foam cannons. The one I like the most is the MJJC Foam Cannon Pro, but you can also get much cheaper versions, especially if you're just using it to kind of apply some deck cleaner or something like that. Just check out my channel for those kinds of things. Moving right along, storage. We also have storage for the pressure washer wand. This is a nice new wand, cool new colorway. It does have a nice metal extension on it, and then it has the typical 1/4 inch quick connect that works for your tips as well as a foam cannon. Has the normal trigger here, and then you can pull this little piece out for storage. Locks it in place so it does not get compressed while it's in storage. Turning the unit around a little bit, we have these huge wheels here. This is a 10-inch actual wheel, but then a 12-inch overall diameter. So also really nice texture on the wheel. And then moving around to the back, we do have a nice little hanging Velcro strap for your pressure washer hose. Now it does come with a 35-foot pressure washer hose, but let me go ahead and tell you guys this. It's the same one that they've used for quite some time, and they are very, very cumbersome. This is the one that they ship out with their newer, like higher end models. But let me tell you, again, they're a nightmare to work with. So let me go ahead and open this one up and I'll show you guys what I mean. Okay, so we've got the hose all disconnected and let me show you here. Get this out of the way and check out the memory in this thing. Okay, then we're gonna go ahead and, now with this memory, when you're trying to work with it, it's gonna get all tangled up behind you, which is a real pain in the butt. Also, when we do this, right, I'm just trying to give it some flex and it has already kinked right there on the center of it. And that is no good because basically what that does is now it's creating a pressure point there. Over time, you're using the pressure washer, it builds up pressure, you release it and the pressure's still in the hose. It's creating a weak point and can cause it to blow out. Now it is using an M22 by 14 millimeter connection point right into the machine. And this is the hose that I would recommend for you guys. This is the Uberflex hose. You can also get one from Flexzilla. It's the same exact hose, but different color and it matches this machine really nicely. But as you can see guys, they use a different texture to it. Really pliable, and you can see it's not kinking. So even if I roll it over, I can get it to roll over on itself, but it does not kink. There's no memory in the line. This is the exact same M22 by 14 millimeter connection point. So no adapters needed. You can just plug it straight in and get back to work. This is a nice feature also because it is 50 feet long versus 35 feet. Me personally, I just like that so that I don't have to move the pressure washer around as much. This hose here is rated at 3,100 PSI, so we should be fine. This thing, like I said, is rated at 3,000 PSI. And if I'm correct, it's probably not gonna get exactly 3,000 PSI. It's probably gonna be a little bit below. Pretty standard. So now let's go ahead and look at a couple more features. I'm gonna just go ahead and remove the pressure washer wand, okay? And this is really cool, guys. This actually made it very, very easy to assemble. And that is the fact that they put a little little release pin here, and you can just pull this and it folds down nice and easy. And then when you wanna use it, clicks back into place and you've got your handle back. Really cool design feature there. I really like that. Good job, RYOBI. Last but not least, right on the front here, we do have our on and off switch, just a basic compressible one button control. Okay, so I have the whole pressure washer set up. It's sitting right down here, plugged into my little amperage reader. So we're gonna test that. I also have my PSI gauge attached to the pressure washer as well. Now I did add quick connects because I have to for this pressure washer gauge. Now I am using all the original equipment that this thing comes with. It's not my favorite stuff. I do have a whole list of like the 5 top upgrades for your pressure washer to maximize your experience while you're pressure washing, so it makes it easier and better. I have a whole video on that. I'll link it down in the description, maybe up here for you guys. So you can check that out if you want to make your pressure washing experience a bit better. So to get started, I'm just going to go ahead, the water's plugged in, there's no leaks. I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger and just let the water purge through a little bit so that we get any air bubbles in the system out. Okay, so now that that's all done, I have everything connected. I have the 5-in-1 tip on and it's set to 15 degrees. I have my decibel meter here. Ambient noise is usually right around 65. Ooh, 50. It's quiet today. So 50. Typically these pressure washers, I just hold it about 3 feet away. They usually sit in that 83 to 85 range. So we'll see what this one does. We'll also find out if it has total stop, which I don't think it does because I don't see any little module for it. And then also while I'm testing the decibels, I'll be reading the amperage reading so we can let you know where we're at with that. So let's go ahead and turn the machine on. Interesting. Can you guys hear that? It sounds like the Greenworks pressure washers where it has that like jet flow technology. This one actually on the top does say water cooled digital controller. Now I don't know if that's what that is. I'm not a huge fan of the delay. Yeah, it's not my favorite, but whatever. Decibel reading for it while it's just not being used. 70. And while it's being sprayed, we got to 83 and 84, basically bouncing between the two. Let me get the amperage reading real quick. Wow. It died on me. It went up to 16 amps and then it shut off. It turned itself right back on, but let's go ahead and do it again. Yeah, so it's like peaking up to 15.8 and then settling down around 14.5. So If you're operating in an older house or a lower amperage outlet, then you may have issues with this unit. Just keep that in mind. But let's go ahead and test the PSI now. I'm gonna move you guys over a little bit. And now again, this is with it set to the 15-degree setting. So here we go. Right off the bat, guys, it jumped up to like 28, almost 2,900 PSI, and then it backed off a little bit. So we're gonna do that again. Let me get it to focus, here we go. So it's basically settling in around 2,700 PSI, which is kind of what I was expecting really with this unit. Let's go ahead and switch it over to the 25-degree now, see if that changes anything. Interesting, it seems like that actually may have opened up the orifice a little bit, and we're able to get higher in the PSI range, I think, because it's creating less of a draw and not dying on me. Let's go ahead and go to the 40-degree tip now. Yeah, so we're basically sitting between 26 and 2,700 PSI with all of these. So not much difference, just that 1.1 is creating so much pressure. It seems like it's causing the motor to kind of die down a little bit. So let's go ahead and swap out this tip now. I'm gonna change it out to a couple of aftermarket tips in the 40-degree range, degree angle. And we'll try it out with a couple different orifice sizes to see if we can drop that PSI and increase our GPM. Now, I will say in the past with these induction motors like this, typically that ruins the performance pretty quickly, so let's see. Okay, so here is a 3.0 orifice 40-degree nozzle, and then we have a 3.5 orifice 40-degree nozzle. So let's start with the 3.0, plug that in and test that. I mean, that just completely killed it. Sitting at 800 PSI with that. So this, the 3.5, I don't think is gonna be viable because that's just gonna drop it even more. Let's see. Here we go with the 3.5. And that drops us all the way down to about 600. So not very good there. I'm gonna grab a 2.5. I don't have a 40-degree, but I have a 25-degree in the 2.5 orifice. So let's test that. Okay, so here is my 25-degree 2.5 orifice. Maybe this should get us around 1,000 PSI. Let's see. So we're sitting basically 1,100 PSI with the 2.5. So for car detailing, that's where I would like it. So we will test the GPM flow with this tip. And then we'll just go from there. I will say right off the bat, guys, I don't like this surging up and down. And the fact that it loses performance that quickly, it's crazy. From like the 2,700 PSI all the way down to 800 on 3.0 is just, it's a bummer. So let's go ahead and test out the GPM. Okay, so for the GPM test, I'm going to stick the nozzle with this one first. I'm just gonna run on the 40 so it disperses in here nice and evenly and doesn't go crazy. It's getting the same numbers anyway, so we should be fine with that. Okay, so we've got it on there on the 40-degree setting. Now I've got my stopwatch set. We're just gonna run it for 1 minute and see what we get. Again, this thing is rated at 1.1 GPM, so not expecting anything crazy here. And here we go. Alrighty, so there is 1 minute. Yeah, it's not a ton of water at all. We are at 4.5 quarts and we are at 1.125 gallons per minute. So I gotta say, guys, for what they're advertising this thing for, 3,000 PSI, which there's usually a little bit of a break-in period, so I think it'll get there, it'll at least closer. Right now it's operating about 2,700, but getting slightly above the 1.1 GPM. So it's an accurate rating, it's very accurate. Personally, I don't like the ramp up very much. At least for car detailing, I like that instant pressure, but around the house, this may be a fantastic choice. Let's go ahead and switch over to the 25-degree 2.5 orifice that dropped us down to 1,100 PSI and see what the GPM is on that. Okay, so after that, after switching over to that that other nozzle, again, we were getting 1100 PSI. I was monitoring it, 1100 PSI the whole time. We are now at 5 1/4 quarts. And that comes to 1.3125 gallons per minute. So we definitely increased it. That will definitely work for washing your car at home. So if you're looking for a unit where blasting your sidewalk and all that kind of stuff is the most important thing to you, this is a fantastic unit. And if you just get a 2.5 orifice nozzle, get the 40 degree. I'll have them linked down in the description for you. But if you do that and just, you know, when you're going to wash your car, don't use the nozzles that it comes with. You can switch over, increase your flow a little bit, drop your PSI, and you're gonna get a better result. So there you have it, the review of the new RYOBI 3000 PSI 1.1 GPM electric pressure washer. It's a decent unit. I personally don't like that ramp up. It just sounds like it's kind of like struggling, even though I think that is how it's designed to work. Again though, brushless induction motor should last a long time. The housing and everything on it is super nice, so not a bad choice. So that's it for today's video. Please make sure to like the video, make sure you're subscribed, turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you on the next one.